even though I'm quite a happy, smiley person, I suffered in my past with symptoms of emotional detachment towards both of my children. When I became a mum for the second time, that happened, and it was due to having postnatal depression, but not really realizing that's what it was until about 2 years down the line. Why do you think some people actively choose to be unwilling to connect with others, whether they're babies or adults, on an emotional level? And what would be your advice for them if they're wanting to overcome this?
So the connection with their children.
Yeah. So if in some cases, so for me, I was unwilling to connect with them, and I couldn't understand why I was unwilling, and I just thought there was something wrong with me. So where there are people that are willing to not connect emotionally, either, it doesn't have to be with children, that was just my experience, or unwilling to emotionally connect with others, but you know that it would be better for them to connect with others. What would be your advice for helping them to get on that first rung of the ladder of emotionally connecting? That's a hard one, isn't it?
It is a tough one. And I think the reason why I'm finding it tough is the word unwilling.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure for a lot of people it might feel like an unwilling, but it might actually be more of an unable to, or just not having the tool, not knowing how to, or not knowing how to show up as a parent. And
it's emotional intelligence, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think there's this whole narrative, isn't there, around, when you're expecting, you go through the hormones, and being a mum is very natural, and it will all come to you when they're born. And that's not reality for everybody. We're all trying to work it all out. Mine's 18, still trying to work it all out. It's a forever evolving job, isn't it? Being a forever evolving role. And so I think it's the word unwilling is what I am trying to unpick for me, because I think sometimes it might show up as unwilling, but it might be an unable, because
and I think that was how it was for me.
There's a lack of energy elsewhere, or there's a fear. Quite often, there's people are worrying about if there's so many other things that go on, isn't there? But it's that fear of attachment is mostly around fear of loss, that if I attach myself in this relationship with this person or with this child, and then I lose that attachment, it's the fear of loss overrides the fear of attachment.
Zoe, you're giving me goosebumps, because you've just described, sorry for interrupting, but you've just described how I was feeling. Oh, I'm going to get emotional. But I think it felt like I was unwilling, but you're right, I was scared to make that jump to connect with them in case I failed as a mother. And so if I detached myself, then I already knew that, I wasn't going to fail. So I just couldn't, I didn't have to show that emotion. But yeah, you're right, making me tear up.
Sorry, it wasn't intentional.
Sorry,
but you can apply that for so many other scenarios, can't you? Of the fear of failure means we step back and we don't step in. And actually it's the fear of failure, the fear of loss, the fear of not getting it right, the fear of the damage we might do to somebody because we don't know what we're doing. It's all of those things. And so it was the word unwilling that threw me. But I think ultimately the fear is there. So there's you can work through the rationalization of fear. But I think ultimately, especially with parenting, it's forever evolving. So if you can step into it now when they're newborn, but then when they're toddlers, you'll be faced with a new set of challenges. When they're teenagers, there's a whole other set of challenges.
So I know
it. Now, when you get through that, there's another set of challenges again, because although they're not needing you in the same role, you have to then work out, well, what do I do now? Now I'm not needed, and now I've grown this like adult. What do I do? So I think with with any attachment or with building any relationship, there's always, I think, a small amount of fear. I think for a lot of us, it's more just previous experience of whether or not we embrace that fear, because we know that there's a huge amount of benefits that will compensate.
But, you know, whether that's unknown, isn't it, as well? You know, not knowing it, and then when you're in that sort of anxious thinking, you think just the worst thing's going to happen. To stop you taking action.
And so I think it's that the especially with parenting, it's that recognition and acknowledgement, isn't it, of, okay, this, you are never fully going to know what you're doing, so just accept. Well, it's that acceptance mindset, isn't it, of you're never going to know what you're doing, you're never going to know whether or not you've done the right thing, and you're never fully going to know whether you have said and done the right thing on multiple occasions. So ultimately, for me, especially around parenting, it's that acceptance of you do what you can with what you know at the time of what you feel is best. And you're always going to be reflecting on that and wondering whether or not that was the case. But I think it's just that acceptance, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. That was good.
Did I answer the question?
You did, and you made me tear up as well. So well done. Thank you.
It's a very emotional.
Yeah, I'm managing my emotions here.
You don't need to on my part. And I'm sure that there will be others who watch this back, and this will resonate with them. And I think your honesty and sharing your experiences will resonate, and the work that you do will help other people, you know, for that support. That I think it's similar for both of us, isn't it? We're now putting ourselves in roles where we can support other people who've had experiences, so that because we know how that feels.
Yeah, it's life changing. It's life changing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it.